Hello, my beautiful Aquarius. Oh my goodness, I have missed you guys so much, and I do hope you've all been happy, healthy, and well, guys. As you can see, I am all ready for fall. Okay, as soon as September hits, September 1st, that's my time. I'm not one of those people, who prolongs summer up until the last minute. I love fall. September, October, November, December, fall into winter. Those are my seasons. But fall is my favorite. So let's get started here. First half of this reading will be about you, and second half will be about your soulmate. Okay, now I tend to stick to love, but anything can come out. I just kind of go with what I feel. Now let's get started because I do feel some energies here. Actually, it feels like a bit of a. This feels like a bit of a heavier situation. So we're starting off here with the lion, the panther, which is interesting. It's kind of two of the big cats, okay, and they're facing each other, and the whale. I get an energy, Aquarius. I'm hearing this in my head, and I'm just feeling it. Like, I feel like there are some hard truths, or maybe you're at a point in your life, in your experiences, in your spiritual growth. And again, remember, life is a spiral. Sometimes things that we go through in our maybe teens or like our 20s, right? Or even our younger years, right? And I just saw 202 on the timer. Sometimes things in our, teens, they hit us in the spiral goes around, they'll hit us in our 20s. They'll hit us in our 30s, our 40s, our 50s. And there's this energy of also with that kind of right in the spiral, some new things come along. But what it feels like here is kind of some hard realities. I'm getting more like I'm hearing this, like maybe you are having to accept or being faced with one of the harsher or the harder, no, I'm feeling more like harder or harsher realities of life itself, or the harsher experiences. And I'm feeling it more as like just raw, not necessarily brutality. It's more like, I want to say like maybe one of the most, or like the brutal, or the brutality, the brutal aspects of life, but it's coming out more like like some of the brutal realities. Okay, for some of you, it could definitely be something brutal, like like an event that happened even. I do pray that it is not, but unfortunately those things do happen and exist. But for this reading, it's more feeling like like the brutal reality of something, or the brutal truths here. And it's feeling like maybe somebody who is in a situation that it feels like it's just a hard truth to accept or swallow, and it feels like, whether this, and it feels like something more kind of big in life. It doesn't feel like something like, they discontinued that, coffee creamer that I like, or, they stopped making, my favorite coffee. I keep bringing up coffee because I love coffee. They stopped making, my favorite sandwich at that fast food joint or that restaurant. This more feels like, it could even be like the loss of a loved one. It can be like true heartbreak, like losing a loved one. Also, though, like a breakup, or maybe that thing that you wanted so badly It's feeling like maybe it's not happening right now, or it's in your mind, it's looking like it's not. One thing I feel like you are lost in your head right now, and it does feel though like kind of just brutal realities. It's even like, when maybe, I don't know, like, because I feel like I'm seeing other people maybe getting this, getting that. It feels like I'm looking at others' lives or just lives of people around me. And they're getting this, they're getting that, but I'm not. And it can even be like maybe just that one thing that you want that everyone else is kind of getting, but you're not, or you don't have it right now. And I feel like with the whale, it feels like it's more deeply emotional to you. It does feel like something that is deeply emotional to you, but it feels like it brings out, a lot of mixed feelings with this panther. It's very primal, it's very kind of natural or raw. It feels like a mixture of everything, like anger. It's like volatile. And I just feel like maybe even, it can even be like your maybe way of dealing with it right now. Maybe like people are getting like, good news in their lives, and you're just kind of like, okay, well, it's not that it's not good news to me, but I've been trying to, and I don't have it yet. But it does feel like something emotional. Maybe it's even like, it doesn't really feel like this, but it could be like marriage. It's something very big in life, big and deeply emotional. But I feel like there's an energy coming through that I didn't say it, but it's like maybe you're dealing with it in your own way. It's not that you're not happy for people, but it's more like maybe you're becoming a little quiet, and maybe people around you are unsure of how to handle it, or like maybe you're not blowing jumping for joy, or expressing it very vocally. You're just like, congratulations, or something like that. And that may be arousing some anger in people, because it does feel like you kind of dealing with something, and but others feel like maybe they're kind of hostile towards you. Like, why are you taking it this way, or what are you up to? It doesn't feel like everybody. This panther feels more like specifically focused maybe on like one or two. It doesn't really feel like the whole. It may feel to you sometimes that the whole world is against you, but it honestly doesn't feel like that. This maybe more feels like a very specific individual, or a very specific group of individuals who are against you, or not against you. It's more like not understanding why you are the way you are right now, what you're going through. And again, if you're like, it feels like for a lot of you, like grieving something, or grieving somebody, or grieving a situation. I will say this. When it comes to grief, people, especially if it's like the death of a loved one, you don't owe anybody a damn thing. And, you need to deal with it the way you're going to deal with it. Now, I will say the goal, of course, obviously, is to, you have to be strong, right? And come out of it, right? But in order to be strong, you have to be weak. You have to in other words, let the breakdown kind of happen in privacy, in your room, however you do it. But I do feel like kind of getting it out, and then what happens is then you start to, when the emotions start to get processed, a really good old friend of mine, an old family friend, such a wonderful man. When I lost my grandmother, told me a kind of a talk. He gave me a talk, but he explained to me, like, a thing about grieving or grief. It's like a funnel. And, whether it's the loss of a loved one or, any other situation in your life that you could be grieving, okay, or like mourning over. Grief is like a funnel, and it starts off really big in the beginning, right? But then eventually it starts to, as you work on it, or as time goes by, but you need to work on it, it goes from real big to eventually something that you can live with. But it does take some time and effort, and acceptance. But I do feel like there's this energy of processing going on right now. But I do feel like this kind of hostility from others, it doesn't feel like it's from everyone. Again, it feels like it's a more... it actually feels like somebody may have... This crocodile is coming out reversed. Usually crocodiles, are these, alligators, crocodile, right? They more kind of hide in the water where you don't see them. With it reversed, it feels like it's someone opened their mouth. They're not in hiding anymore. And it feels like maybe like somebody may have called you out or done this, done that, whatever. But I feel like there's the snake coming out reversed. It's almost like a snake in the grass. But it does feel like somebody said something to you. The crow. It feels like it's something that they've been sitting on for a while. There is this energy coming through, though, of the owl. Now, I do feel like the words or whatever, because it feels like it's just weird. Like there's this anger or this lack of compassion. It feels like kind of what they may have said or what they may have done or what they're doing. Like maybe these people who are not so compassionate towards you. It feels like there are shreds of truth in what they're saying. Shreds. But I feel like it's not being said in the right way. And that may be, it just feels like it's not really helping you at all. I don't get an energy. It feels like I'm seeing more like a cheese grater in my head. And it's making me feel like shreds of truth. Little bits of truth maybe in there, but it's just like, yeah, I know. Just let me have my moment. Let me feel this. Sea serpent. And the bat. You know what I feel like I want to say? Not everybody is going to understand your situation. Not everybody is going to be able to empathize with you. Not everyone has that in them. But also, I think that it can even be, like maybe one of those harsh realities is this. And this is maybe like one of the unfortunate things in life, but it is a reality. People, unfortunately, it's like people don't have to empathize with you. Don't have to. They don't. Others don't. And it's one of those things that doesn't really help anyone. I'm not for that kind of stuff. I believe more in compassion, but also, being compassionate, but also being fair, like blunt, but compassionate as well. Kind of bluntness or like lack of compassion leads to nothing good. It's like cold, dead world. Too much compassion, though, and it's almost like, you don't learn. Sometimes you don't get that blunt push that you need. You know, like especially with things like grief, you know, if it's to the point, right, like so like, you know, where you're like very, very, or it's debilitating your life. Okay, you need that kind of push, like, or I would imagine even myself, you know, like when I went through it, you know, someone has to push you. Okay, I know you don't feel like you want to do it, but you need to get the hell up now. And it may ruffle your feelings, but it is best for you. But I do feel, though, there needs to be a balance with that. Unfortunately, not everyone is like that. And it may just be like one of those situations where you have to accept that some people, you know, just don't have that compassion in them. But also, like, the unfortunate reality is they don't have to. It's just one of those things. Let me see here, though. And I think you're just accepting that or kind of going through that. Okay, so there are definitely, I think, people who you are on guard with right now, the tarantula and the bear. There's kind of this energy of, okay, like, I just feel like you're kind of, it's like a little bit of like a wounded energy right now. And it's okay. But I do feel you kind of just taking it slow and sticking to your shell right now, or sticking within your shell right now. There's the unicorn. You know, there's an energy here of, I think what you need right now, maybe, and you know you need, is some compassion. And I think you're maybe surrounding yourself with people who are. I would say go, you know, look for people, you know, or surround yourself with people. This is the ideal for me, is equal amount of compassion, but also bluntness. Like, who will be compassionate with you, but will have the balls or the gall to say what needs to be said if you need it. If you're going off the deep end, or if you're, you know, like, you need someone who has both those instincts in them. So that's what I feel kind of going into this. There's that panther. You know, I do feel like vent your anger. Vent it. Don't take it out on. There's a difference between venting and taking out. Look at this. Now, this trust card, this was here, and I forgot to remove it from the Capricorn reading. And I didn't read it in that reading, but I feel like I'm going to read it now. Trust. I'll hold it up to the video so you can kind of screenshot it, or if you want to pause it. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. What a wise message. And I think very fully applicable. Let me see here. All right, so Aquarius, let me see now. What's going on? Let me see the best way to handle this situation for you. And then I'm going to look into 9 Justice card. Number 9. I'm sorry, number 11. Justice. Funny that I felt 9, though, in my head. 8 of Pentacles. I know what I feel with the 9. That's more like an end, or, you know, like something that needs to end. What it does feel like is a change up in the approach. Page of Wands. There's an energy coming through of facing your emotions and facing your anger head on. Whether that's talking to people, you know, if it's therapy, if it's this, if it's that, you know, there are many different forms of therapy. Um, there's a big energy, though, of, I feel you kind of coming out of it and getting back into your flow. There's the Six of Cups. I feel like it's maybe best to process your emotion, because there's an energy of working on it, but it's more coming out as like facing and accepting that which makes you angry, or that which is kind of hitting you hard, and ultimately making peace with it. But I think there is an energy of acceptance coming through. I also feel like the Seven of Cups just came out, Knight of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. Honor your feelings, honor the darkness, honor that which is in you. But then there is an energy of coming back around to, though, what you do have, ultimately. Don't deny the pain, but come back around. And I think you will get through that. Okay, but I am feeling, though, this energy, this Four of Pentacle. There is an energy, though, of, you know, being honest about your feelings as well, talking about them. You know, and if it's someone who is not compassionate about things, then funny, there are two queens in this deck. This makes me feel like two women, or it's like two people who are very similar. Could be even like two people who are very similar in your life that you may have lesson to learn, or it's like part of your growth. There's something about like either two women or two men, or just two people who are very similar. I think it needs to be balanced. But then there's a King of Cups. Funny, the Kings and now two Queens of Cups and a King of Cups. Balance that out. That's what I feel. There's something with like two people who are very similar. All right, now let me see what's going on with your soulmate here. Because this more feels like, I don't know if it's necessarily a love reading this time. Eight of Cups, Ace of Swords, King of Wands, this is not a love reading. This is like an energy of people who I think it feels it's coming out more like maybe a specific person or group of people who I think are being maybe very not like They're not compassionate with you. This feels like their energy. This is you kind of like walking away from them, or if not walking away, because sometimes it can be family. There's this energy though of like emotionally withdrawing or emotionally pulling back. And it feels like there is an energy of like somebody, a king of wands. This feels like a bit of a big mouth or a kind of, I want to say like, I don't know if it's ringleader, but it's more like a somebody who maybe doesn't think before they speak, you know, or they say it, but they don't have the balls to back it up. But I feel like it's interesting. It's like they drop it, they drop what they're gonna say, but then don't kind of talk about it, but then get angry when people kind of don't want to deal with them anymore. Or kind of like when you withdraw, it's like they feel good saying it in the moment, but then it's like, I don't know how to say it, because it feels though like there is no compassion in it. The moon. Hangman. There's an energy of like you being silent with someone, and it's kind of it's kind of pissing them off, but at the same time it's like, okay, I know what I kind of feel here. And it's almost like, hey, when you're being like very because it's coming out like judgmental, not you, more this other person. It's judgmental, but it's more lack of compassion. See, because I know I can be me myself. I can be very blunt. I am very blunt. But what I say is with compassion. I will give my opinion, or I will say what I feel about a situation, or about whether it's, you know, how you're reacting, this, that, you know, the other thing. If I'm having a discussion with my friend, but it will always be in the line of, you know, with compassion. You know, I mean, sometimes there are situations, right, where sometimes the truth needs to be said. And the fact that, and I'm not saying this is one of these situations, but it is kind of coming out where I feel I need to say it. We're like, okay, let's say like I drop a truth bomb on somebody, and well, they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear it, and they turn their back on it. Well, that's not my friggin' problem. And like, I'm not going to care that they turn their back, that they don't want to hear the truth. So like, my answer to that would be, okay, well then we'll go to somebody then who panders to you and tells you what you want to hear to make you feel better. Me, I'm like a mixture of, though ultimately both of that. I will say both. But if a truth bomb needs to be dropped, I will not hesitate. This situation, though, in yours, it more feels like just like someone who's not being understanding of a situation. There's an arrogance to it. I also feel like it's this energy of like you not saying anything then to them. It gets them annoyed. It's like, okay, like again, when you drop a truth bomb and if someone kind of runs through, you should expect then that they're not going to say, you know, you can't get annoyed then that they're not going to tell you, because then you're not being supportive. There is definitely someone around you who just really does not care about your situation, or really does not care to put themselves in your shoes, or really they just don't understand what it feels like, what you're going through. Either they're not going through it themselves, they never will. Let me see, like, what action they may take towards you, because I don't know how to take their energy. It does feel a little pompous, or like there's a pompousness to it. Okay, the Knight of Swords. 9 of Wands. Hierophant. I do feel their belief. See, this is what I do feel. It's almost like there's like shreds of truth in what they say, but I do feel there is an energy of. It's a mixture of like guilt for you pulling away, but also like, okay, well, I said what had to be said. But this Hierophant is making me feel, it's almost like they're not going to change their opinion. Six of Cups. Five. Now that's an interesting 5 of Swords. Right now it feels very volatile. You know, they feel... This is not compassionate. Because, see, there's like an energy of, like, you may be trying to teach them compassion, and they just may not be for it. Or, like, if you're hoping that they're going to be compassionate, they're not. I don't feel, at least right now. There's the Devil. Some of you, there could be a Capricorn involved, but this, to me, just feels like very messed up words. It just, because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it's meant to, not that it's not meant to help you. They may think it's meant to help you, but it's coming from a place of, it's like not needed. It's like a mixture of them calling you out on stuff, you calling them out on stuff. But I don't see them kind of changing their view. There's the Justice card. I feel like they feel, and this Justice card being here again, it does make me feel like, again, things that they may have said, there may be shreds of truth in it. It just feels like it was said in a really messed up way. That's the way I want to say it. Not everything maybe that was said was not true. The Empress reversed and the 5 of Pentacles. See, there's like the Empress reversed is not a good energy. This is like an arrogant, kind of pompous bitch or bastard. You know, the Empress and the Emperor, you know, they are kind of the king and the queen of tarot, right? But sometimes, you know, that self-worth, or, you know, that self, you know, I don't know, I want to say it, like those high standard, you know, that high sense of self, it can very easily turn into arrogance. And I feel this is like it's misplaced. And see, with the 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, with it reversed, there is an energy of like zero compassion coming from them. I don't feel you're going to get it from them right now. And you may never. I don't feel their opinion changing much. I get kind of a period of maybe like some ruffled feathers arising with these people or whoever this is. There's a defensiveness to it. Let me see if this looks like it may change. Yeah, the panther. I keep looking at the panther. Now, it just feels like everybody's defenses are up and everyone's a little volatile. Let me see where it looks like this situation will go. Like, are they going to make a move towards you, maybe to rectify it, or, kind of like, yeah, maybe I should have been more. Let's see, are they going to make a move? Hangman. Not right now. There is an energy. No, not right now. I don't feel it right now. Nine of Swords. No, I don't feel it right now. Queen. There's this game of like, hey, you feel that way, I feel this way. They're clinging to those shreds of truth. There's the Justice card. I'm hearing like, yeah, I know what I said was right. Not all of it. It just doesn't feel totally right. Some of you, there's even an energy coming through of like someone trying to break up a relationship. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below with that, because it feels like kind of. This can even be like. This feels like kind of family drama. And it feels like it's like a revolving around a man, or from a man, or like a. I don't know if it's like a matriarch or a patriarch. It feels more like it stems from one person. Or there's like one person who's the root of it, whether it's the matriarch or the patriarch. Somebody is the root of it. It's maybe even like just one side of the family. I do feel, let me see, are they guilt? Like, do they feel, how do they feel? I do. Right now they're pompous. No, right now there's this energy of like, no, what I said was right. They're a bit on the high horse. This is going to need to cool off a little bit. I feel like an energy of like, it's one of these situations like, okay, well, we don't have to talk, and I think this happens in families sometimes. There is this energy of like, yeah, okay, bye. It's like sibling drama or it feels like maybe one day they're going to see. One day they will understand. It's coming out in this way. I know what I feel. It's like one day they'll get it. How hurtful it was, or like, God, I should have been more understanding. It's more feeling like, as for a time for, it is coming out like patience needed. It feels like more within like the years time frame, not like 10 years. It's more coming out like maybe a year or two, or maybe 3 years, something like that. It's something with the number 3. Some of you, that could be in March. It's more coming out though like the flames need to cool. Let me see, like, should you let these people back into your life, or how should you best handle them? All right, the Knight of Swords. Again, the Knight of Swords. You're coming out in your element. Hangman. Oh, I know what I feel. I feel like there's an energy of weighing the pros and cons. If someone's not compassionate with you about a situation, I think it really is going to depend on your relationship with them. Are they beneficial to you in other ways? Do they treat you well in other ways? Just maybe because someone's not compassionate about one thing in your life doesn't mean that they automatically need to be tossed. Because the way it's coming out here is like maybe some, you may just keep your distance on that topic. Others, maybe you'll stay away from. It's a choice. See, the Two of Wands. I think you need to make very wise decisions. See, there's the Star and the Page of Cups. See, there's like an energy of, it's like, I almost, because I'm seeing like writing a list or making a list almost of pros and cons, and I think if the pros outweigh the cons, like let's say this person is supportive of everything you do or has been up to this point except this one little thing, maybe you can write it off, maybe not, but I think it, choose carefully like what you're going to do. I am hearing this, it feels like there's an archangel here. It feels like Archangel Michael. There's a spirit here. It's Archangel. There's an energy coming through. I feel him saying, there's this energy of like, ask yourself, are they truly supportive of you or unsupportive? One thing doesn't make the whole. One piece doesn't make the whole. I just keep hearing him say, choose wisely. Not everybody is your enemy. That's what I feel. It's almost like, but choose wisely. King of Swords. See, there's an energy of really like, know who's really got your back and who doesn't. But be very fair. See, it's interesting. There are two sides coming out here. One side is more uncomfortable. One side is very stable. The star is on this side too. You see? The way it came out was like this. The page and the, no, it's the page and the Seven of Cups on one side. The star and the Four of Wands on the other side. This feels like, again, somebody who's maybe ultimately supportive. Maybe this is an energy, though, of like someone who's ultimately not supportive. But it feels like more overall. Think of it in terms of overall, maybe. That's the thing, and there's the Tower. So see, it does feel, though, like maybe certain people you will keep, others not, or others you will distance yourself from. But I do feel whatever you do, just choose wisely. Right? See, there's the Three of Pentacles. It's making me feel like before you cut someone off, look at them as a whole. Can you overlook it or can you not? But I am feeling like if it's multiple, there is an energy of like maybe someone you can overlook it. Yeah, there's an energy of choosing wisely. See, the Two of Wands is underneath again. That's what I feel. Right? So, Aquarius, I hope this reading resonated with you. I'm sending you so much love and support. Again, now, if you're interested in a private reading, you can email me down below. That information is in the description box. All my love to you. Bye-bye now.